Hercurate, testing 1, 2, 3.
Hi, Deputy Mayor. We can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Councillor Keenan. Can we test your audio, please?
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Committee of Council meeting on Wednesday, June 18th. I believe we can begin, and as we begin today's meeting, we would like to acknowledge that we are gathering here today on the traditional territories of the Mississaugas of the Credit, Haudenosaunee, and Wendat nations who have called this land home since time immemorial. We recognize the Mississaugas of the Credit as the original rights holders and the signatories of Treaty 19, the Adjutant's Purchase of 1818, and that the arrangements made therein are foundational to our nation-to-nation relationship. As a city, we are committed to our ongoing role in reconciliation through meaningful action rooted in truth, justice, and respect. We are grateful to the original caretakers of this land who have ensured we are able to work, play, and live in Brampton now and in the future. And just an important note that today is, not today, but this month is Indigenous History Month, and we have a special celebration to acknowledge and celebrate our Indigenous history, and that is happening in the city of Brampton on June the 20th. So good morning, everyone. Again, before we begin, I just want to ask, because we've got a lot of delegations today, a lot of folks in the audience, and we love that, but we need everyone to turn off their phones, silence their ringers so that we don't interrupt the meeting proceedings for the day. And over to the clerk. I'm hearing an echo. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but it's distracting. Okay, I believe all members are present today with the following participating remotely or absent. Madam Clerk, over to you for roll call.
Good morning, Chair Santos. We have regrets from Councillor Brar, and online joining us is Councillor Keenan and Deputy Mayor Singh.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. And next, we're going to move on to approval of the agenda. Madam Clerk, if I may ask you to summarize any revisions to the agenda.
Through you, Chair, the following revisions have been published. 6.4, delegation from Sandy Gamble. Presentation has been added. 6.5, delegation from LaRose Mercader, Executive Director of BIA. Delegation and presentation have been added. 7.1, staff update, government relations matters. A presentation has been published. 9.2.7, staff report, proposed residential rental licensing pilot program, improvements and recommendations. The report's been published. 12.2.9, staff report, budget amendment, non-conventional stormwater management facilities. A revised report has been published. And 12.2.10, staff report, stormwater asset management plan. A report has been published.
Wonderful. Thank you, Madam Clerk. And any members of committee have anything to add? Councillor Tour.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. Would like to add a closed session discussion item. This will be following, we have a few delegations here today, particularly one from the Brampton Arts Organization. Following that delegation, at an appropriate time, I'd like to have a discussion in relation to that in closed session.
15.4.
Sure. So added item 15.4 regarding a closed session item. I believe you spoke with the city solicitor, and that would be under negotiations, I take it? Yep. Perfect. 15.4. Now, as chair, I just want to do some cleaning up so that our agenda today can move smoothly. There are a few. Oh, Councillor Pellecci, I apologize.
Sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'd like to add a discussion item about naming rights, recreation facilities, and what's the office of the office that goes out, gets companies to put their name. Sponsorships. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. So, Madam Clerk, that's an item, added item from Councillor Pellecci regarding recreation facility naming and sponsorships. Okay. And no other members of committee have their name on the board. So as I was saying, I'd like to clean up the agenda so we can move smoothly today. There are some delegations that actually should be announcements and will require photos after. So what we're going to do is move delegation number 6.4 from Sandy Gamble as a response to the starter company announcement to 5.1. So after 5.1, Sandy, you'll come up and respond to that announcement. And then I'm going to move delegation 6.3 after the announcements, because again, that should have been an announcement versus a delegation, so that we could take photos all together at the end of all announcements. And then we will proceed to the other delegations related to 6.2, which is the space for local nonprofits, and then 6.5, which is the BIA delegation as well. Those ones don't require photos, but require discussion, so I want to get rid of the photos first and then proceed to the discussion delegations, if that works for everyone. So, Madam Clerk, those are the changes. I have a motion moved by Councillor Tour to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor? Any opposed? That carries. The next item is declarations of interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. Do any members have any declarations of conflict of interest to declare today? I see none. The clerk will so note. The next item is the consent agenda. As part of our consent motion process, I will read each agenda item that is subject to the consent motion, and any member may verbally identify the item to be held for debate during the meeting. Any item that is not held for debate will be part of the consent motion and voted on for approval. 7.1, staff update government relations matters. In consent. 8.2.1, staff report, request to begin procurement, citywide park maintenance and beautification. Going once, twice. Held by Councillor Paleshi. I think he has good news though. Okay. 8.3.1, minutes, Brampton Sports Hall of Fame Committee, June 5th. In consent. 9.2.1, I don't believe we have any delegations. Anyone want to hold that? That is in consent. 9.2.2, staff report, 2026 municipal election updates to the use of corporate resources policy. That is in consent. 9.2.3, access to information and protection of privacy program, 2024 information report. That is in consent. 9.2.4, staff report, safe and affordable housing for students, summary of initiatives, incentives, and partnerships. In consent. 9.2.5, staff report, work plan to update lodging house policies. I'm holding that one, held by Santos. 9.2.6, staff report, amendments to administrative penalties. Once. In consent. 9.2.7, staff report, proposed residential rental licensing pilot program, improvements and recommendations, held by Paleshi. 10.2.1, staff report, entrepreneurship skills and talent development project. Consent. 11.2.1, staff report, budget amendment, housekeeping, consolidation for parks projects. In consent. 11.2.2, 2025 first quarter operating budget report. Consent. 11.2.3, 2025 first quarter reserves and reserve funds report. Consent. 11.2.4, staff report, purchasing activity quarterly report, first quarter 2025. Consent. 11.2.5, staff report, active consulting service contracts, first quarter 2025. Consent. 12.2.1, staff report, 2025 new school infrastructure improvements, Ward 6, held by Paleshi. 12.2.2, staff report, traffic bylaw, administrative update. Consent. 12.2.3, staff report, neighborhood speed limit expansion. Consent. A whole bunch of streets are going to 40 kilometers an hour, just heads up. 12.2.4, staff report, approval of state street naming requests. In consent. 12.2.5, was being held for delegation. Madam Clerk, I don't think we have any. No. Nope. So anyone want to hold? This is in regards, oh, we do have delegations. Yo, never mind, that's held for delegations. BIA is delegating on that. 12.2.6, staff report, special event road closures, Community Garba Street Festival celebration. Consent. 12.2.7, staff report, request to begin procurement for the supply and delivery of traffic control cabinets for a 3-year period. Consent. 12.2.8, staff report, budget amendment, assessing natural systems climate change vulnerability in Brampton project. Consent. 12.2.9, budget amendment, non-conventional stormwater management facilities under parks, held by Paleshi. 12.2.10, staff report, stormwater asset management plan.
I don't know if I should hold that one too now. I'll let that one.
Makes sense.
To hold them both?
Held.
I'll speak to them both.
12.3.1, Environmental Advisory Committee minutes. 12.3.2, Brampton School Traffic Safety minutes. 13.1, Referred Matters List. Consent. 15.1, Closed Report, Managed Detection and Response Services for a 3-year period procurement. You want to hold it?
Which one?
This is the managed procurement for managed detection and response services. No, right? 15.1.
It's different on the screen.
Oh, that's okay. Apologies, I have the wrong script here. 15.1, budget amendment, request for, okay, held by Tour. 15.2, okay, is held. 15.3, held as well. So all closed sessions items are held, including 15.4, which was added by Councillor Tour. Okay, that is the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, would you like to summarize maybe those items that are being held?
Sure, through you, Chair Santos. The following items are held out of the consent motion. 8.2.1, staff report, request to begin procurement citywide park maintenance and beautification. 9.2.5, staff report, work plan to update lodging house policies. 9.2.7, staff report, proposed residential rental licensing pilot program, improvements and recommendations. Also held is 12.2.1, staff report, 2025 new school infrastructure improvements in Ward 6. 12.2.9, staff report, budget amendment, non-conventional stormwater management facilities under parks. 12.2.10, staff report, stormwater asset management plan. And all closed session items, 15.1, 2, 3, and 4 have been held.
Perfect. And 12.2.5 is held for delegations from the BIA.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Yep. So motion from Councillor Palashi to approve the consent motion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. The next item is announcements. So our first announcement is the launch of 2025 Starter Company Plus grant program sponsored by Councillor Tour. And today we have Daniel Bishan, Business Advisor, Brampton Entrepreneur Center. Hi, Daniel. Please come forward. You have 2 minutes for your announcement, and then we will call up Sandy Gamble from Diane's Mastectomy to speak on the announcement as well. Daniel, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, through the chair. Good morning, Mayor, members of council, and the business community and residents. My name is Daniel Bishan. For those that don't know who I am, I'm also known as #the Business Advisor here in the community. I have one of the most amazing jobs here at the City of Brampton because I get to support small businesses in our community. I am pleased to provide an update and an announcement of one of our flagship business support initiatives from the Economic Development Office and the Brampton Entrepreneur Center, Starter Company Plus. How do I switch this slide? Oh, next slide's awesome. Thank you. So what is the Starter Company Plus program? The provincially funded program supports individuals that are 18 and older who are looking to expand their businesses here in Brampton. Due to the economic atmosphere that we're currently facing, we decide to support existing businesses within our community. It's designed for those that are committed at least 35 hours in growing their ventures and offering a structured mentorship and funding to do so. This year, we are thrilled to announce again our partnership between the Brampton Entrepreneur Center and the Brampton Arts Organization, aimed at empowering our creative entrepreneurs. This collaboration will ensure that our program is tailored specifically to meet the needs of our small business community and our creative community. Next slide, please. So what do the participants get? Free in-depth business training over a 10 to 12 week period, personal one-on-one mentorships, and the opportunity to apply for $5,000 rewards. We have 2 streams, a general business stream for small businesses and a creative stream. This isn't just a grant, it's a support ecosystem aimed to ensure long-term business success. Next slide. So just to talk a little bit about the scale of the program, in 2024, we had close to 200 entrepreneurs that participated in the training and mentorship of this program. Yeah. Over 35 was awarded the grant. 20% of them were in the creative stream, and for a total of $175,000 worth of grants. The total economic impact here in the community, we estimate, was 1.5 in investments, jobs, and growth within the small business community. Last year, we had close to 90% of the participants in the BIPOC community. 25% of them went to the creative businesses, and over 400 businesses registered for our information session. This year, we have 34 grants. 10 of them will be reserved specifically for the creative businesses within our economy. Next slide. So to qualify, participants must attend one of the mandatory information sessions, just one. Please don't attend all 3. We have them on July 9th, August 13th, and September 4th. Applications will open on July 10th and close September 10th, and the official program will begin October 1st. So I encourage all council and the community partners to spread the word about this awesome opportunity, and reach out to the Brampton Entrepreneurs Center to find out some more information at brampton.ca/BEC, or email me directly at daniel.bishan@brampton.ca. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Appreciate that. I have Councillor Tour on the board, and then we'll bring up Sandy.
Perfect. Thank you, Daniel, for that announcement and sharing some much needed and important information with the community here. Last year, I was super happy at that graduation ceremony when we were distributing checks that for the first time we had artists included in that. I think that's a big win for the arts community, seeing a lot of them here and some of them that were actually recipients of this program. So you're doing a great work. I hope the word gets out and we see a really good response.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. And I'll call up now Sandy from Diane's Mastectomy to provide a response to the announcement as well. Sandy, you have up to 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. So my name is Sandy Gamble. I'm the owner of Diane's Mastectomy. We are a Brampton-based business that provides breast cancer services for women, breast prosthetics, post-surgical bras, and compression garments for lymphedema. We have served the community since 1985, so this is our 40th year here in Brampton. My mom, Diane, started the company at a time when there were very few options for women after their mastectomies. She wanted to provide a service that provided dignity and confidence to women and to be able to restore a sense of self after one of the most difficult times in their lives. So I, of course, grew up with the business, but my mom and I officially worked together after I graduated university and everything like that. So we worked together for a very long time. I learned from her confidence, her tenacity, her commitment to our clients. 3 years ago, my mom passed away unexpectedly, and so therefore I took on the role of owner of the business. Owning a business was not in my plan. I inherited the business. This is not something that I did in university or anything prepared for in that way. So in a general way, I was terrified, not only to take on the role, I mean, running a business and owning a business is very different than working in a business. And so that was very, very different, along with feeling the weight of how important this was to my mom and wanting to carry on her legacy and do right by her as well. So I spent the first 2 years kind of getting my footing and starting to feel more comfortable in the role. And then this past year, I started to look forward and wanted to be more strategic about my future as well as the future of my business. So that's when I started looking into what services Brampton offers. And I found the Brampton Entrepreneur Center. I had a nice long conversation with Daniel, and he encouraged me to join the Company Starter Plus program. And like I say, this is not what I did my degree in, so I had no background in like financial forecasting, business plans, anything like that. So those were the goals that I was hoping to learn from this, and I did. Additionally, I also got the intangible gift of confidence from this program as well. So at the end, I sort of felt more that I was running the business more than the business was running me, which I had felt before. Something that my mom and I had often talked about was, in terms of growing the business, was to add a e-commerce platform. However, it is a big task due to the logistics, the size of our inventory, and also just the nature of the business itself. So we often talked about it, but it was not something that we were able to move forward with. And especially since the pandemic, we feel that it's, that's more of a client expectation that you do have that e-commerce aspect. So that is something that I was looking forward to being able to do. And through the program, I was able to break it down into smaller bite-sized pieces and to be able to figure out how to move forward with that. So that is what I'm currently working on now. And in addition to those tangible skills, I was also able to build a community as well. So being able to connect with other people who are either growing their business or who are also building their business from scratch, and just kind of bouncing ideas off each other, outsourcing who did you use for this service, and things that I had no idea about that they know about, and sharing those as well. Beyond that, I was also able to make some friendships as well, and be able to become a bigger part of the community. So I have since joined the Brampton Board of Trade, and then I have also joined the Brampton-Caledon Zonta Club. So I would like to become a further part of the community, not only for myself, but also for my business for the next 40 years as we move forward. And so with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for having me, and support of the Company Starter Plus program and entrepreneurs like myself who proudly call Brampton home. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Daniel. And Sandy, you're a fantastic example of what's incredible about the starter company here in the city of Brampton. And I knew your mom,
Yes.
and know your business. It's in the ward that I represent. And just want to say that your mom would be super proud
Thank you
of
very
you.
much.
And
Means a
I'm
lot.
sure very grateful for the support that the Brampton Entrepreneur Center and the Starter Company has provided, because your success in your business is more than just a business. It's exactly what you shared right now in terms of your involvement in inspiring other women in the community to continue persevering. So thank you, and 40 years is a huge milestone. And so at the end of the announcements, we do have a certificate for you
That is
to
very lovely.
celebrate
Thank you.
your 40 years in business in the city of Brampton. We are so proud of you and our starter company program.
Thank you
So
very
stick around.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At the end. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. So motion from Councillor Paleshi to receive the delegation. All in favor? Any opposed? That carries. The next announcement is 5.2 Brampton Entrepreneur Center Summer Youth Market, Saturday, August the 9th. And we have Gabriel Carroza, Program Assistant, Brampton Entrepreneur Center. Please come forward. There's two of you. You're going to have to introduce both of you. Go ahead. You have 2 minutes for your announcement.
Good morning, members of council, mayor, and established public. My name is Gabriel Carroza, and I'm here with
Amrita Singera.
And today, we're here to present the Brampton Entrepreneur Center's first summer youth market. Next slide, please. Thank you. The event will take place on August 9th at the West Tower Co-working Space and is an opportunity for young Brampton-based entrepreneurs to showcase their business to the community. The market will take place during the Brampton Farmers Market and is in collaboration with Brampton Youth Connect, Young Bosses in Business, and other Innovation District partners. The event will include an open space for networking, raffle prizes, refreshments, and a programming from guest speakers and industry professionals, all aimed at youth empowerment.
Our goal at the Brampton Entrepreneur Center's Youth Market is to empower youth by providing them with the opportunity to build brand awareness and gain hands-on vending experience connecting with the local community. We hope to receive the council's support in helping spread the word and inviting you to join if your schedule permits.
We just posted some new promotional materials on our social media platforms, so for more information, please check us out at on Instagram at BramptonBEC. We're happy to answer any additional questions. Thank you for your time and continued support of the community.
Thank you so much. Excited about this market, and Councillor Tour has a couple of questions.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. Thank you for this presentation. I walked into your team working on the Canva of that poster. So good job with that. Turned out really nice, really cool. It looks awesome, and I've been sharing this with a lot of young people across the city. People have repeatedly asked for something like this. Again, shout out to Bao. I know they've done successful winter markets, summer markets, have been super well attended. I spent a lot of money at the winter market when I had my babies to buy all sorts of handicrafts and toys. So I'm very excited to see this event take shape as well with the young bosses that I got introduced through Councillor Power that are collaborating on this event. I hope that this is the first of many. Don't want to put the pressure on you guys, but kill it on this one, and I want to see this happen in the east side of the city, possibly at Gore Meadows in the future, or Springdale Library, in the west side at Mount Pleasant, across the city at multiple locations, because this is something that really our young entrepreneurs really need at this time, is this kind of support and exposure to market. So thank you for putting this together. I hope to see all council colleagues come out there, spend the money, and help support this youth market.
Thanks so much, Councillor Tour, and I echo that as Vice Chair of Economic Development, a huge supporter of youth entrepreneurs. I'm excited for the market and look forward to bringing my credit card with me. All right. Thank you very much for your announcement. Our next delegation, which I have moved, is a delegation from Dr. Raj Kanuja, founder, National Dental Care Day, regarding National Dental Care Day Foundation. Very nice to see you, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you
For
for this
your
opportunity.
delegation, you have up to 5 minutes. And then we will take a photo with all the announcements and the various folks who want to take a photo before we go into the other delegations.
I think Mayor Brown has stepped out. Good morning, councillors, members of the committee, and respected residents. My name is Dr. Raj Kanuja, and I'm here on behalf of the NDCD Foundation, proudly rooted in Brampton. This is a civic story that began here and now belongs to all of Canada. Next slide, please. Today, I want to briefly share the vision behind the National Dental Care Day, recognize Brampton's leadership in this national movement, and invite this council to help shape its legacy. This isn't just a presentation, it's a moment for Brampton to lead. Next slide, please. National Dental Care Day is a coast-to-coast initiative held every October 10th. Clinics across Canada offer free care, cleanings, fillings, extractions to those who otherwise go without. It's not just about oral health, it's about dignity. Next slide, please. This started in 2012. A mother brought in her son with a broken tooth from hockey. She needed care too, but quietly said, "He deserves to play. I'll buy him gear instead of fixing my own teeth." That wasn't neglect, it was love, dignity, deferred. I treated them both, no forms, no cautions, just care. That moment became a promise. That promise became a movement. Since then, the initiative has provided over $360,000 in free care. Next slide, please. This movement has been recognized with the Ontario Medal for Good Citizenship, the June Colwood Award, the Canada 150 Medallion, and was recently featured in RCDSO Connect, our profession's official publication. This is not charity, it is civic care at scale. Next slide, please. This movement is deeply rooted in Brampton's spirit. The first proclamation came from this city. The first free dental day was held right here. Yes, it began with one clinic, but this is now Brampton's story and Canada's future. Next slide, please. What began as one act of compassion is becoming a national tradition, a blueprint for access and dignity born in our backyard. Brampton's backyard is becoming Canada's front step. Next slide, please. This is what October 10 will look like, a day of dignity lit from Brampton's heart. One chair, one day, one nation. Next slide, please. Cities like Orangeville, Mississauga, and Fergus, and provinces Prince Edward Island, Alberta, Newfoundland, and Saskatchewan have stepped forward with their proclamations. But Brampton remains the first and the heart of the movement. Now is the time to lead others, not just inspire them. Next slide, please. To the Council, you're officially invited to join us on October 10 at 9980 Airport Road, right here in Brampton, for the proclamation reading, media photo, and a shared civic moment. Next slide, please. We respectfully request the Brampton's Council to consider passing a motion to share this initiative through AMO and FCM so that over 2,500 municipalities across Canada can learn, engage, and replicate it. Let Brampton not only lead, but help every city follow. Next slide, please. It began with a smile in Brampton and became a movement across Canada. Let's show this country what Brampton stands for. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and for ending early. Appreciate that, Doctor. Questions from members of committee. Councillor Tour, followed by Mayor Brown. Councillor Tour.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. When I walked into council chambers today, seeing my dentist sitting in the audience, I was hoping I'm not in trouble for missing my dental appointments. But thank you, Dr. Khanuja, for coming today with this amazing delegation. So happy to see this. If I can just share a little bit about Dr. Khanuja, he is very humble, and he wouldn't say this himself, but the amount of work that he's done across the GTA for dental care has been amazing. All the free clinics, and this is before there was a federal program for dental care. And he truly believes in the work he does when he talks about people having to live with dignity and having good dental health and how important that is. It's incredible to see his work. If you remember at one council meeting, I was sitting here with a glass of ice to my face. I texted him at 1 a.m. in the middle of the night talking about the pain that I was having. At 6 a.m., he asked me to come to his clinic, opens the door, does the whole procedure. At 8 a.m., he's out to Scarborough for a full day of dental clinic, providing free dental service for those that can't afford it. His kids have been doing amazing. They've been doing walks, 100-kilometer walks, walking from here to Niagara Falls, raising funds, doing amazing charity work that he's instilled in them. As we open our School of Medicine later this fall, there will be more exciting announcement from Dr. Khanuja as well. Here at Planning Committee, we had approved his application for a new dental school building that he will be building in Wards 9 and 10. I'm excited to see when that goes into construction and when that opens up, and the amazing service that we'll provide in the dental professionals that we'll bring into the community. So thank you so much, Dr. Khanuja, for all the work that you do. Thank you for leading this. Thank you for championing Brampton everywhere you go and starting this work from Brampton. That's amazing to see that Brampton will be that beacon of light when we talk about National Dental Care Day. So thank you once again for everything that you do. I'd be very happy to move that motion that if we can refer this delegation to AMO, to FCM as well, so that it can reach other municipalities that you may not have been able to reach thus far, so that they can also proclaim National Dental Care Day.
Thank you so much, Councillor Tour. I don't think we could refer it to another outside organization, but I think we could refer it to GR probably to do something.
Yeah, if we'll refer to GR then, Government Relations, just to write a letter to say that we proclaimed this day, provide the information, and be able to send it across municipalities.
Any spread of word is a good word.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mayor Brown.
Yeah, I think Councillor Tour has initiated the right way to make sure we have GR send that letter to AMO and FCM and just help you build momentum for this and amplify your voice. My sister's a dentist. I know a great deal about how dentistry is preventative healthcare 101, and when I was in the provincial legislature, I initiated free dental care for seniors. And I know a lot of regions utilize that fund. Would love to see how Brampton can do whatever we can to support this initiative and draw more attention to make sure that everyone has access to dental care in our region, in our province. So congratulations on being the initiator of this proclamation here, and we'll do everything we can to support your efforts.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And so now we're going to, speaking of dentists and beautiful smiles and clean teeth, we're going to take a few photos now before we go on to the other delegations. So we'll start with you, followed by, let's say, the youth market, and then followed by start a company with Sandy and Daniel, if that works. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Stay right there.
Like so?
No.
right. So that was lovely. Our next item on the agenda is continuing on with delegations and delegations regarding the space for local nonprofits, community organizations, and collectives in the city of Brampton. We have 3 delegations under 6.2 regarding space for local nonprofits, community organizations, and collectives in Brampton. First up, you have 5 minutes, is Michael Vickers, Executive Director of Brampton Arts Organization. Michael, nice to see you and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair Santos, Mayor Brown, councillors, and city staff. I'm Michael Vickers, Executive Director of the Brampton Arts Organization, alongside our Board President, Henny Musa. If I may, I'd like to request just a very small extension to our time, although I know you have a packed schedule today.
Okay, small extension, which means I have to extend Corey over there as well. Okay, 2-minute max extension.
We probably won't even need that. Thank you. We're here today to make recommendations on how the city can provide affordable space to Brampton's creative community and nonprofits and highlight actionable solutions to quickly catch up to other municipalities. The data is clear, and now we need to act. BOW continues to work in collaboration with Kelly Stahl, Commissioner Boyes, and the amazing Cultural Services team, but this is a broader and more urgent issue that requires prioritization across leadership in realty, planning, and economic development. Next slide, please. To be frank, Brampton is falling behind. Unlike most major Canadian cities, the City of Brampton has no affordable space program for arts groups or nonprofits, no process for tenancy in city-owned facilities, no incentives for landlords to offer below-market rent to nonprofits or artists, no cultural space acquisition budget or strategy, and no dedicated funding for space activation or co-location facilities. These gaps continue to hurt all Bramptonians. 80% of survey respondents said that more creative space would improve their life in Brampton and that BOW is important to the downtown. As the Ontario Chamber of Commerce made clear at our event with them, every dollar put into the arts brings a $25 return in revenue, and activating creative space reduces vacancy rates, reduces crime, improves community safety, and boosts civic pride. Next slide, please. Other cities across the GTA and beyond are far ahead of us in ways that they support creative and nonprofit space. The City of Toronto offers city buildings to nonprofits for $2 a year in rent through their community space tenancy. They have developed special tax subclasses for creative space landlords, and they are buying up property for the creative sector. In Mississauga, they have a dedicated cultural infrastructure fund, and Vancouver offers discounted leases for arts and culture. Brampton residents deserve the same or better. Next slide, please. BOW is proposing concrete, achievable steps for the City of Brampton. Finalize a below-market rent lease policy for nonprofits that offers meaningful support, establish a capital strategy for creative space acquisition citywide, expand and extend BOW's lease footprint at 8 Nelson downtown to launch a new shared use model, launch space-focused grant programs, develop a creative space property tax subclass like Toronto, and require art spaces to be embedded in all new municipal capital projects. Next slide, please. As BOW prepared to support the other delegations today, this issue arrived on our own doorstep as Realty informed us that our lease at the city's 8 Nelson building will shift to month after October, and they've decided to increase our rent. Next slide. There are solutions, though. Keeping BOW in 8 Nelson and expanding our footprint means Brampton can pilot a shared use space model to help solve the crisis you're hearing about today by ourselves and others by offering easy-to-access space for artists and organizations, incubating new groups, and being a case study for longer-term plans. Next slide. This is an example of just one of the dozens of empty offices in the building, bright, clean, safe, and have been vacant for years. 8 Nelson is tenanted by our friends at Beehive and city staff, and has many floors sitting vacant while we debate demolition in 5 or more years, or the potential for the province to purchase the building. Spaces like these can still serve a purpose in the meanwhile. Next slide, please. BOW requests collaborative action across the city on the following. Number 1, please act now on space access for the arts and nonprofits with the recommendations that we've mentioned and avoid staff delays. Number 2, recognize this issue as an immediate cross-departmental priority necessitating leadership, investment, and coordination. And finally, support BOW's lease extension and expansion of footprint at 8 Nelson so that we can stay, launch a shared model in additional empty units, and deliver community benefit while longer-term plans are confirmed. Instead of falling behind, Council can help Brampton lead on supporting creative space and local nonprofits. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michael and Bao, for delegating today. Councillor Tour has a couple of questions, but I just want to say that this is a strong indication that Bao and the arts community are coming out of the shadows and into the public because we don't have enough space now that they're coming out, and we don't want to lose them. So I support, obviously, the need for more space for artists, and Councillor Tour has a couple of questions.
Madam Chair, just quickly, I've added one discussion item already in the closed session to talk about specifically some of our spaces, but if I can actually hold back my comments till we get all the 3 delegations, then I'll share my comments in the end. Thank you.
So we will get all delegations and then questions and comments at the end of all 3 delegations.
That's good.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
So the next delegation under this item is, I'm missing it here. Corey Butler, Executive Director of Zamar Music. Corey, welcome, and I think you wanted a 2-minute extension as well, so we will grant that as well. You have up to now 7 minutes, Corey. Please go ahead.
Good morning, councilors. Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. I'm the Executive Director of a local music arts organization called Zamar Music, and we empower lives through the power of music, and we support wellness and mentorship through the power of music. And I'm joined here today by the Dixon family who participates in our programming. I'd like to play the video.
Music isn't just notes and melodies. It's the heartbeat of our lives. And from our history, we harness power to educate, inspire, and build resilient communities. We are interconnected.
I have to say that I extremely enjoyed it. It's very touching. I found the history, bringing the symphony and the different hymns, just gave us goosebumps.
I think it's really impactful. It makes me think, and it makes me want to spread the story and to remind each other that we're all one people. We're all here together.
And it is important that young and old hears what has to be said. We're still going through war. We still have a long way to go.
In a fun, inclusive, and safe community, we empower young minds to make and create music.
Whenever I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed, Zamar brings me peace. It helps me unwind, lift my spirits, and express myself in a way only music can. It's like therapy, but it's so much more fun.
Building confidence, creativity, and connection.
My daughter, she started here at Zamar Music Academy not too long ago, actually. On recommendations, we've heard that it was a good school. And when we got here, we found it was a warm, inviting community. And I found that right away after the first session, she came away happy and confident and self-assured. Because it feels like a small community in here, and Zamar, I noticed, does contribute to events within the community. I think that also brings that out in the kids and in the families that participate in Zamar Music Academy, because they too will then become involved in the community in doing good things, like providing for people who were short on food and coats and during the winter. I think that's a good organization to donate time and money to.
I find that the external experiences have been, just making me more rounded as a person. My current students, their age ranges are like all over the spectrum. So some who are like very young, some who are kind of in their teens, young adults, and even like, towards the senior age. It's been an overall like insightful experience. Yeah.
It's impactful seeing the students grow and just being able to be part of their musical journey has been one of the most amazing experiences of my life.
Music isn't just an art form. It's a powerful source of mental wellness, offering joy and emotional resilience.
Basically, when I walked into it, I was not expecting anything, but it really did relieve my mind, and I was able to create a song.
It was very nice.
getting to experience two talented people come and share their talents with us. And yeah, it went on.
And for our seniors, music is a lifeline, sparking memories, fostering friendships, and bringing joy.
Good music, good singing. What more can you ask for?
This is more than music. This is community. This is Zamar, music for everyone.
After a decade of impact, we have nurtured, actually, can we go to the, thank you, the slide presentation. Zamar has nurtured thousands of Brampton youth, emerging artists, and families through music education and creative programs. We've proudly paid market rent for nearly a decade, investing deeply in Brampton's economy and creative and cultural life. But this year, our lease ends in November, and without urgent support, we will be forced to close our doors. We've never asked for special treatment. We just want the ability to continue to offer accessible music programming and build a better and vibrant Brampton. Next slide, please. Without a home, we cannot continue. We are one of the only community-based music organizations in Brampton with consistent long-term programming for youth and seniors, I might add. Losing Zamar means losing affordable access to music education for Brampton youth, losing Black-led arts cultural leadership in Brampton, and a safe and inclusive space for local and emerging artists to grow and facilitate their wellness, especially our seniors. Market rent and the lack of infrastructure makes it unsuitable for arts organizations like us in Brampton to continue, and we're running out of options. Next slide, please. What do we need? We need financial support from the city for space-related needs. Maybe a significant launch or a launch for significant artist space grants or rent support for arts charities and nonprofits. Maybe buying buildings, investing in purchasing multiple buildings citywide that could be shared with organizations like Zamar. I've approached many community music organizations myself, and they are willing to share space with us that's dedicated to our programming. I'm hopeful that we can work together to find solutions that will allow our organizations not only to survive, but to thrive. Next slide, please. Music is not only what we do, it's how we heal, grow, unite, and how many of us even stay alive. And I'm hopeful that we can work together to find a solution. I'd invite Ms. Jason to share.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I know I just have maybe under 20 seconds now, but just want to greet everyone here, and I just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I would like to quickly share the impact that Zamar has on our family. My children have been learning at Zamar for 5 years now, and I've seen tremendous progress and improvement in them, and my humble request and support of this council and the city to support Zamar Music with space allocation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and I know that we're going to have questions and comments at the end, but just a quick question from me. Is this your first time delegating to council?
Yes, ma'am.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay. The next delegation is from Colleen D., President, Visual Arts Brampton. Hi, Colleen. Welcome. And you have up to 5 minutes for your delegation.
Thank you, everybody, for allowing us to speak here today. My name is Colleen D. I'm the current president of Visual Arts Brampton, and standing next to me is Matt Zolak, our studio manager. We have a long history in our arts community. We were founded in 1986, and Visual Arts Brampton is not a for-profit visual arts organization. We foster artistic expression through education, exhibitions, and community outreach. We've been serving the cultural mosaic of Brampton and the surrounding area. We provide a welcoming, supportive, and inclusive environment for all individuals, all ages, skill levels, and abilities. We work to offer these programs and resources that encourage development and nurture artistic potential. Our goal is to ensure everyone has access to an arts education and opportunities to advance their career. Next slide, I'll just point out This is Don Best. He's speaking specifically at an open studio demo that we offer free to the public, and he also had a workshop coming up later on. Next slide. What we can offer. We offer art for adults, art for classes. We offer art in the classroom. We offer birthday parties, family art activities. We have a free exhibit space for artists at Shoppers World Mall. We have the monthly artist talks and demonstration, which you saw Don Best teaching a modern batik. We have a membership program, opportunities for artists to offer their own workshops. We have rental and use of our studio equipment to members. And our studio sessions, our open studio are on Thursdays, life drawing is on Saturdays, and portrait drawing is on Wednesday. We also have volunteer opportunities for students who have to finish their community hours, particularly with our arts exploration group, 6 to 8-year-olds. Our teachers always need those volunteers to help out. Next slide. This is one of the graphics we had in our annual reports. This is specific to 2024. We are coming up to our 40th year, so I do expect a 40th year certificate from you. Starting off with our youth classes, we have 46 class times, 526 students. Teachers, we have 17 workshop leaders, 8 youth instructors. Our workshops are 58 independent workshops with 452 participants. Exhibits, we had 50-plus artists showcase with 18 exhibits. Outreach is 25 external workshops and outreach classes. BCCL sessions, which stands for Brampton Caledon Community Living. We had 43 sessions with 35 projects. We also have the birthday parties, which are 18 birthday parties with 222 party goers. Next slide. Our community partners are Brampton Arts Organization, BAL, Michael Vickers, the Brampton Caledon Community Living, which you saw the little graphic for BCCL, Brampton Library, the City of Brampton, Culture Days, Dufferin's Peel Catholic School Board, Indus Community Services, which offers senior daycare, Knights Table, the Food Drive, Peel District School Board, Tall Pine School, and the Shoppers World Brampton, of which we are very, very grateful because they have given us our corridor, which we display our galleries, our 2-3 galleries at Shoppers World for the past 30 years, as well as working on a number of collaborative projects, B-Box Collaborative, a mural that's going to be coming up for the city, and, workshops for March break, Christmas, summer break, that sort of thing. Next slide. Oh, sorry. Okay. Our ask to the council. There is so much more that we can do at Visual Arts Brampton and with the visual artists in our community, but we are limited by our space and the increasing cost to rent it. Brampton Artists Organization, successful artist studio program is an example of the need for individual artist studios on a long-term basis. And this is something we too can offer. Commercial rental rates are simply not affordable to run community-based programs. This affects all nonprofits, not just the arts. We ask that the city look into developing a community space tenancy program to offer affordable space for the nonprofits in our community. And I thank you for your time today.
Thanks so much, Colleen. And now that all the delegations have completed, we have some questions and comments from members of committee. Councillor Tour, you're up first.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. Thank you to all the delegates that came out and delegated here today. But just by a show of hands, I know there's a lot of artists in the room, but can we just identify all the artists, just if you can, just thank you to all of you for showing up today to the council chambers on something that clearly you're very passionate about, and so is the city of Brampton as well. And Corey as well, with his music studio that's in my area. My brother used to learned drums there. Not so good anymore, but he used to learn drums there back in the day. There is definitely a lack of space when it comes to the not-for-profit sector. I know even where BAO is housed right now, Okay, just a question to staff. I know we've been working on a report on the not-for-profit sector. Could we just track that, and what's the timelines for that report, and when is it coming to council?
Through the chair, staff is aiming to bring that back next week.
So next week, we will have the report with some recommendations. Like, could you just,
Yes, so staff has done a benchmarking of all the municipalities with an existing corporate policy. So there's some recommendations to bring back. We've also done an internal analysis of our current spaces as well as the existing occupants. So that will be taken back to council for deliberation.
okay. I would then ask that if these delegations be also referred to next week, to that meeting as well, so it can coincide with that report coming. Okay. And then that report will be published, I'm assuming, on Friday, by Friday latest, on the agenda?
That's what we're aiming
for next week? Yeah. So once it's up on Friday as well, members of the public are free to go online to that website to see next week's agenda and go through that report. That way, if there's any questions, any concerns, any comments or input, you can delegate again at next week council for that specific report to address that. Apart from that, I can't say too much because, again, I said I've added a closed session item for discussion related to this as well, so I'll speak at that time. But I see Commissioner Boyce wants to add something to this.
Sure. Commissioner?
Through the chair to Councillor Tour, just to add to Melissa's points, I believe that report will be a closed session report.
Yeah, it might be a closed report.
Okay. So folks, hang tight.
Yeah. Yeah, so the suggestion is because the nonprofit sector report on rental space and rental pricing is in camera, perhaps we could refer these delegations to that specific report because it's going to be in camera. We can talk about all this in camera as well next week.
Okay, so I'll be happy to move a motion to refer these delegations back to staff.
Back to staff.
To be incorporated with any comments.
Yes, yeah. So this is referred back to staff for consideration as part of the report back next week in camera on the nonprofit sector rental agreements support. Yeah. Any further questions, Councillor Tour?
I'm good at that, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Tour. So to all the delegates here today, just to be very clear, there is a report coming in camera next week regarding this topic, and it's going in camera. Your delegations have been referred back to staff to be included for consideration in that report, and more will be coming out, I believe, from that report next week. And that being said, I just want to make a final note, since there are no other members of committee at this time, just to say thank you to our cultural services team, Kelly Stahl, community services team. You know, I think that we need to take these delegations from our artists as good news because they are engaging with the process and that there's a large growing number of them who are now coming out asking for support. And that's a good thing, especially when you compare it to other organizations like sports in the city of Brampton. We want to make sure that the artists' voices are heard and also supported. So thank you for delegating today. Thank you to our cultural services team, and more on this next week. A motion from Councillor Tour to refer all the delegations back to staff. All in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Thank you to all delegates today. The next item on the agenda is 6.5, a delegation from Lou Rose Mercator, Executive Director, and Emma O'Malley, Events Coordinator, Downtown Brampton BIA. And after the delegation, we will bring up the staff report, item 12.2.5, regarding special event road closures, Downtown Brampton BIA, Party in the Lanes, wards 1 and 5. Lou Rose and Emma, you have up to 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Mayor, and members of Council. I'm so excited to come before Council this morning to share details of Downtown Brampton's BIA's new signature festival, Party in the Lanes. While this event is not new, traditionally it has been a one-day event focused on the laneways within downtown. For 2025...
One second,
yeah,
guys.
go ahead.
We've lost quorum.
Oh, we lost quorum.
Yeah, sorry. Gotta hold you for 1 second. I I don't know, we don't, do we have anyone online? No. Should stop the clock. Okay, we'll reset it from the beginning.
Thank you.
Don't worry. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're back at quorum. We're going to restart the clock from the beginning.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Mayor, and members of council. Once again, my name is Lou Rose, and I'm the Executive Director of the Downtown Brampton BIA. Just wanted to share with you about our new signature festival, Party in the Lanes. For 2025, we have expanded and reimagined this into a 3-day festival that will activate all the laneways, squares, and the streets of downtown Brampton. For our festival is expected to attract thousands of visitors to our downtown and requires a special event road closure of Main and Queen Streets, specifically for July 11, 12, and 13, 2025. I respectfully request that council approve the staff report 12.2.5 to ensure the festival's safety and our programming success. Today, Madam Clerk, if we go to the last slide first, please. Today, we are also officially launching a new visual identity for the festival that captures the focus of our new festival and also embracing the theme of the City of Brampton's Flower City and paying tribute to the city's cultural diversity and roots. We have partnered with a group called Designs in Air, which is a trailblazing inflatable and design company based in the United Kingdom, renowned for their unique and beautifully rendered sculptures, creating for pop-up urban art installations, and has been featured in cities around the world. But for 2025, in the Party in Lanes Festival, we are so proud to present the North American premiere of these flower sculptures at 6 locations throughout the downtown, including in front of City Hall, Daily Times Square, PAMA, Garden Square, and on the rooftop of our downtown businesses. So that's why we did that photo opportunity with you with those flower balloons. I'm joined in the chambers today with our BI team, including Emma O'Malley, Muskan, Daniel, and Ashley, and our summer jobs economic coordinators, Ryan, Gabe, Rebecca, and Gerline, who presented you with those flowers to celebrate and promote this year's flower installation as part of the festival. I'll just quickly turn it over to Emma to give you a little bit more details of this year's festival programming.
Yes, thank you so much for having us here today. Lou Rose and I and our growing team have the absolute pleasure to invite you to this unforgettable summer festival. So we are really excited to have pop-up art, live local entertainment, family-friendly entertainment, and classic cars is coming back to downtown Brampton. So please, we're asking you to share the word, mark your calendars, and we look forward to seeing you all there.
Thank you so much. Oh, you're done? Or
We're
you
done,
have
yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for your delegation. There's a lot happening that weekend
Yes.
in Brampton, everywhere. Councillor Keenan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, Rose and the team, thank you for everything you do for the businesses of downtown. Over the last few years, you've seen these things grow and the amount of effort and time that is put in, to that downtown and to drive people down there is absolutely amazing. So hats off to all of you. Extremely, extremely excited about this. Been passing it along to people, telling my kids about it. So you'll definitely see me down there with the family. But I just really wanted to say, looking forward to this and the amazing work that you guys do. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Councillor.
All right. So one question and request from me is to please send an invitation for all of the significant things happening for Party in the Lanes for that weekend, if you could please. So because that weekend's full of stuff. So
We're going to do an opening night right in front of City Hall here on July the 11th, so you'll all receive an invitation for that.
looking forward to those balloons. That's so cool.
Yes.
Congratulations.
All right.
Thank you so
Madam Chair.
much.
Thank you.
Motion from Councillor Keenan to receive the delegation. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. The next item, the agenda is government. Oh, sorry. We also need to approve the report. Motion from Councillor Keenan to approve the corresponding report, item 12.2.5. All in favor? Any opposed? That carries. All right, those roads will be closed for that weekend. Next item is government relations, which was put into consent, which brings us to community services. There were two items, 8.2.1, staff report regarding citywide park maintenance and beautification, held by Councillor Paleshi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I really just want to say, what an outstanding program. I'm getting constant emails, phone calls into our office saying that like, people absolutely love the way these parks are being kept now. It's fantastic. Keep up the great work. Thanks so much. Thank you, Madam Chair. Happy to move the report.
Thank you. Motion to move the report from Councillor Paleshi, but I just also want to echo that I'm getting a lot of emails as well of positive responses about this particular program, and Councillor Paleshi, you were a champion of this program, so thank you for bringing it forward. Last night I was at a park with some residents who were so pleased about it, and so congratulations to all of you for making it happen. Motion moved by Councillor Paleshi. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The report is approved. Next item is added. 8.3.2, discussion regarding a recreation facility naming and sponsorship. Over to you, Councillor Paleshi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to, I'd like to try and get ahead of things, and when we're talking about Embleton, really want our sponsorship team to go look at opportunities for the naming rights of Embleton. Everything in the world's getting more expensive, so if we can get, a nice big company like Amazon or something like that to sponsor the naming, that would be fantastic. I realize that there were other motions in the past, previous councils that tried to set direction for potentially naming some facilities, but I think hopefully that dies here today and we can go forward trying to bring some money into the city by the sponsorships office and the naming rights of these facilities. Mr. Commissioner.
Through the Chair to Council Paleshi, that would be for the recreation center and the park, correct?
Absolutely, yes. Anything we can sell the name to.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Paleshi. So I support this very much as Chair of Community Services, but also just need to note that every time we name a facility or a park in a commemorative way after somebody in the community, that takes away from sponsorship opportunities as well. So moving forward, I think we need to find that balance, especially with Embleton and other facilities and our budgets being on the crunch. Happy to support this. So I don't know if this is it direction or a motion?
I think it needs to be a motion just based off of previous motions and stuff.
Okay, so that staff be directed to examine sponsorship opportunities in relation to Embleton Community Center and Park facilities, moved by Councillor Paleshi. All in favor? Okay, that staff be directed to examine sponsorship opportunities in relation to Embleton Community Center and Park facilities and all facilities across the city. Is that better? Perfect. Future facilities across the city. Perfect. Thank you. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. Thanks, Councillor Paleshi. Next item is committee question period. Do any members of committee have any questions on community services? Seeing none. Public question period. Madam Clerk, are there any questions from the public either in the audience or online?
Through you, Chair, there's no questions.
Thank you very much. Moving on to legislative services, there were a couple of items that were held here. The other items put into consent. The first one, 9.2.5 staff report, work plan to update lodging house policies. I held that one. And so just a very quick question to staff regarding this report. This is a lot of fantastic work that we're doing to deal with the proliferation of illegal units and rental units in the city of Brampton, and try to hold folks accountable. Just for clarification's sake on this report is coming back to council for a follow-up report, correct? That's part of the recommendation to staff.
Through the chair, yes, that's the intention of the staff report, is to endorse the work plan with the intention of bringing a recommendation report back mid to early fall.
Wonderful. So when the report comes back, because what I did notice in the report that there was no reference to one of the biggest priorities on our council for why we want some of this stuff put forward is on fire safety, fire code and building code. I didn't see any sort of specific reference to that. Can we just make sure that in the report coming back, we include any reference to fire safety, fire code, and building code?
Absolutely. And just for our committee's awareness of the current licensing framework, it's actually a very robust framework that has safeguards in place for things like fire code. And if I may, for your awareness, the current licensing framework requires ESA inspection, a letter of approval by the fire chief and property standards, occupancy certificate by the chief building official, letter of approval by the medical officer of health from Peel Region, an HVAC inspection report, emergency plan approved by the fire chief, complete floor plans, written confirmation of the number of lodgers, and contact information for management. We will review that to make sure that what comes back has that and more to make sure that the appropriate safeguards are in place.
Wonderful. Thank you, Allison. You mentioned a number of lodgers. So one of the other things we've worked on, Councillor Keenan and myself in particular, are setting occupancy limits. And a few months ago, there was an occupancy limit report. Will we be including some of that information about setting occupancy limits in this report coming forward as well?
There will most definitely be occupancy limits, likely aligned with the ones that we established earlier this year, maximizing, or I guess, regulating the number of occupants per bedroom based on floor area. But one of the other opportunities through this study is to put a cap on the number of bedrooms that are permitted to be rented out in a lodging house to therefore cap the occupancy for the total unit.
That would be fantastic. And I'll just conclude by saying that one of the things, and I've been doing a lot of neighborhood walkabouts and speaking to a lot of properties that have problems in the neighborhood. And there was a few properties where they did open the door and I saw mattresses in the living room. To be very clear, so it's on the public record yet again, are mattresses allowed, sleeping allowed in living rooms or kitchens or anything outside of bedrooms?
In any property across the city, irrespective of rental or ownership status, no, they're not permitted. The only rooms permitted to be provided for sleeping purposes are ones that are approved under a building permit as a bedroom.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Allison. We have a couple more questions, one from Mayor Brown, followed by Councillor Keenan. Mayor Brown.
Thank you. First of all, this is great work. I really think that citywide it's really appreciated that we're taking some of these squalor-like conditions and not permitting them in our community. If anything, the feedback I'm getting is keep it up and more focus and more attention. I'd be remiss not to mention that we had my Mayor's Black Advisory meeting on Monday night. We had a massive turnout, probably 350 people in the atrium, and Councillor Brar attended. And once again, this was one of the biggest issues that was raised, and concern about slum landlords and what we were doing, the issue around garbage, the issue around landlords who seem to have no understanding of what human rights exist in Ontario. And so I just wanted to put that on the record that we had that very loud and clear feedback on Monday night. I've certainly heard that attending other functions, with Councillor Keenan and Councillor Medeiros in Wards 3 and 4, door knocking with Councillor Vicente and Santos in Wards 1 and 5. It was more than abundantly clear. I went to one, we had a meeting in my office, Councillor Keenan, a group that you brought in recently. What street was that? Yeah. But there was one that was more than, I think, animated would be an understatement. And so just know that there is a lot of hopes and aspirations in the work you're doing that we get this right. We don't hesitate, and we make sure that everyone can live in conditions that we'd be proud of. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. And just a reminder to everyone that this one is about the lodging house policies. And I know that to Mayor Brown's point, lodging homes, in particular illegal lodging homes, have been a loophole for a lot of people because lodging homes were not part of the RRL program. And so now that we're taking a look specifically at lodging homes and how to regulate them and hold them accountable, I just wanted to also share that these two reports, lodging house policies, occupancy limits, RRL that's coming up shortly, are all interrelated. Councillor Keenan.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and through you, Allison, great work. You always do fantastic work, and we appreciate it here on this side for sure. I heard you mention something that made me come on the board, was limiting the amount of rooms in a lodging home. And it brings me to the other program. Are we able to limit rooms? Because sometimes I see houses that were homes that have now gone up for sale, and they have like 8, 9, 10 bedrooms, and it's a tiny house. Is that a possibility to do, or no?
We can certainly take that back and look into it. The way we could limit the number of bedrooms provided in a lodging house is backed by the fire code and building code regulations specifically for lodging houses where there's more than 4 individual occupants. Those requirements are very specific. So if the measures can't be in place given the build form of the house, then we can look at the number of bedrooms that are provided. But we can certainly take that back and look at that.
Appreciate it. That was my only question. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, and I think we have Councillor Tour online who has a question. Is that correct? Someone flagged it for me.
No, I'm online. No questions. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So no further questions on the lodging house policies report. We look forward to the report coming back. Motion from Councillor Keenan to approve the staff report. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. The next item that was held by Councillor Pelletier, 9.2.7, again, a related report regarding residential rental licensing pilot program improvements and recommendations. Councillor Pelletier, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Happy to support the addition of Ward 2 into the pilot program. As for kind of the rollout of the program, I would assume that a lot of the kinks have been worked out with everything that's happening as of right now. And can somebody just walk me through kind of how that will roll out, communications and enforcement as well? I'm sure we have data, so it'll be flawless, but
through the chair, Councillor, I certainly hope it will be flawless. But we will do an education, the same rollout plan that we did for the initial wards. We will mimic that for your ward as well, just to ensure that people are aware of the program and have an opportunity to come into compliance. They will also be part of the current fee structure, which is there will be no charge for the fee at this point in time.
Okay. And I see it's the rollouts for January of next year. Is it possible to move that timeline up a little bit?
We can certainly start education as soon as council gives us the go ahead. We can absolutely start the education period and start that clock running.
Okay, so then can we amend then number 3 to just say roll out immediately, and then that way we don't have to wait for anything. When you're ready to roll something, let's go with that. And let's also work with our offices, Councillor Barr and myself, with the information that we have. And then thank you again for attending the town halls and the various resident meetings that we've been having over the past little while. And if we can grab some of that information as well, that data, and start using that would be good. So I'd like to amend that. And then just with respect to the lodging homes, I think my kids are going to love the fact that I'm not technically allowed to sleep on my couch in the living room anymore. That's the way that I heard that. So really look forward to moving this out. And then as for Ward 6, Councillor Barr and myself, we've really talked to a lot of residents. We're thinking that we just hold off a little bit longer. Ward 6 is so massive and the population is just skyrocketing. And so we want to just hold off a little bit longer for Ward 6, but potentially it will be added sometime in the future. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Pelletier. I've got Deputy Mayor Singh followed by Councillor Keenan.
Thank you, and thank you to staff for all this important work. We've had a lot of continuous dialogue. That's been helpful, and I want to thank my colleagues as well. I've been talking to a lot of them as well, and I understand why these wards were picked. As somebody who's lived in some of them and also driven through them, I understand. And you know, before I was actually thinking of bringing in Ward 9 as well. And then yesterday I did a community meeting and it didn't go too well. And I was shocked because I thought the residents were prepared. And they signed a petition as well, which I'll be sharing with you, Rob. And I'd like to actually bring you out there because I actually, if I can be honest, I really didn't know how to handle it, because we're talking about townhomes with 5 bedrooms, which I didn't even know. Yeah, like they were made in the early 2000s with only 2 parking spots, which includes a garage. So it's like really peculiar situation, and the whole street was up in arms. And you know, so I promised them I'd bring bylaw out as well if you could help out in that. But they called me because they were just getting parking ticket after parking ticket after parking ticket. And it's not an easy time. You know, many were accessible, had the handicapped on the car as well, and so it was a very peculiar situation. So I did talk to my colleagues, and I know we've talked about this as well. If we could also prioritize, because there's always an issue of enough bylaw officers, especially for the RRL areas. So if we could allocate more bylaw and prioritize RRL, and I would put that as an amendment, bylaw resources. Yeah, in the piloted works, especially when it comes to like driveways. And I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying prioritize and active and all that. Yeah, so driveways, parking, and obviously illegal secondary units as well.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Singh. Councillor Keenan, followed by again Councillor Pilish. Councillor Keenan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to start off by thanking staff, thanking you, Rob. All the bylaw officers that are going out there and taking the brunt of the decisions that we're making here. We know that that's not an easy task, so we do thank you. And it doesn't go, unnoticed that you have to deal with these things. And, when we rolled out this program, we were always told it wouldn't be something we'd be able to do. We were told for many years that things that we're accomplishing now couldn't be accomplished. So kudos to everybody, my colleagues and Councillor Santos, myself, and Power for sitting, through all those meetings and working with staff to get things done, and for the rest of our colleagues for supporting it and coming on board and seeing what these programs are capable of doing. So I'm extremely excited about all of this. I do support the new recommendations that are coming through. I know that 2026, Councillor Palashi was bringing in Ward 2, or wants to do it immediately, and now, and Deputy Mayor Singh has brought it up, is resources. I just want to make sure that when we're expanding the program, was the 2026 in relation to budget for more officers, perhaps, or was that just a timeline that staff had chosen? And do we have enough resources to pick up these immediately instead of starting in 2026?
Through the chair, given if it's approved at this point in time, as anticipated, we would hope to have staffing in place by fourth quarter of this year. The 2026 timeline was chosen as a safe implementation target, given that we need to ramp up the resources. We will have enough resources with what we're asking for to take this on. The immediate start, I believe, to be achievable, given that the first phase is largely education and communications related, but I do hope to have staffing in place by fourth quarter of this year.
Yeah, okay, so that's great, because the one thing that I don't want to happen when expanding the programs into the new areas is not happening quick enough, right? So as long as, we have those and we have the resources and they can hammer it down. So thanks to Deputy Mayor Singh for noticing the struggles that we're having in these areas for those resources and willing to do something to chip in some more. So really appreciate the hard work. That's all from me, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Keenan. Councillor Palashi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Deputy Mayor Singh brings up a great point. I just want to ensure that that's not taking any officers away from any of the other areas that aren't in the program, in particular Ward 6. So.
Through the chair.
Not sure how you're going to manage it, Robert.
As I read that, it will take it does prioritize the RRL, that would need to come from somewhere. So
I'll put an amendment, can't take it from Ward 6.
Thank you. If I may help, there is a clause in the report on page 6, which talks about citywide community standards enforcement to include part-time property standards and parking staff in the non-RL wards. So if that is included in there, there's still part-time staff who are looking at the non-RL areas, and perhaps based on this discussion, Director, we can just assume that we want to prioritize Ward 6 with those the non-RL wards.
Through the chair, just trying to keep track of this. I believe the request was to focus driveway enforcement on the RRL areas and parking. And was there another?
Property standards, probably.
Was property standards part of it?
No, not.
You want to keep property
Yeah,
standards?
yeah.
So just driveway and parking?
Yeah, driveway.
Okay. Never mind, we
So-
will keep this then as the amended thing to include without impacting Ward 6. That would be clear.
And so through the chair, just for further clarification, one of the requests is for a dedicated enforcement unit that will be citywide, regardless of that amendment, for property standards offenses.
Okay, so if I can, because I think I have the floor, and if I can try and help. I'd ask Deputy Mayor to withdraw your amendment, and maybe we can ask staff to bring forward a report next council or next committee meeting that really outlines and defines the services of the enforcement, where they are on any given day, what is the scheduling like, how many officers do we have out there during the day. I really need to understand better how my wards are being serviced. With the amount of complaints, and you've heard them coming in, I don't want to be starting, and it's becoming overwhelming. So I don't want to start thinking, well, we're not doing our job. I know we're doing our job, but I want to make sure that every member of council is provided with the tools that we can talk to the residents about, what is happening out there. So what I'd really like to do is maybe look at it across the city and see how our bylaw services are doing. So almost further to the report that we had not too long ago. Maybe just another update on.
So through the chair, I can advise that report is already being planned.
Okay.
It will cover first and second quarter. Given the summer break that typically occurs, that would arrive in September, which will also allow us to include the summer enforcement statistics.
Sorry, summer break. Summer break?
We don't often have council meetings through July and August, is that not correct?
We have one.
Yeah,
have one?
Yeah, we're not the province or the feds. We don't break for the summer.
Through the chair. Through the
Go
chair,
ahead.
in any event, we were bringing a report in September.
Okay.
That will give us up until the summer enforcement. In that, it was going to include the costing and the models of enforcement to give council a full understanding of how we are doing enforcement and what different models would look like.
Mm-hmm.
So that is coming already in September.
Okay. Okay, and so I understand that, we need some data, need some information. We've also had a report with the amount of complaints that we've had, so we have some of the data already.
Yeah.
I would love to know specifically Ward 6, that was completely above every other ward, what has been done since we had those numbers out. How have we handled that, is what I'd like to know. And so hopefully that comes in the report. I would like to see it sooner than September, but just given, also with this amendment and now hearing that the special task force that's dedicated to RRL sounds like it's taking away, and I'm going to tell every member of council, I'm being extremely selfish here in looking after wards 2 and 6. And I would advise, I'm not going to speak on behalf of you, but I need help in Ward 6, clearly from the information that we've received. And I'm glad to put Ward 2 under the program, but right across the city, everybody needs help, right? And so I don't like hearing that we're potentially taking stuff away. But Mayor Brown seems to, he's going to come and close us all off and help.
I think I've got a solution, if I could suggest. We get that 9 and 10 is a different dynamic right now, and they don't want the enhanced enforcement. And so rather than specifying non-RRL wards, simply say that 9, 10 is not part of the enhanced enforcement provisions. There is limited, like there's more calls to bylaw than there is bylaw capacity to respond to every call. So understanding that, understanding the multi-generational nature of many of the homes in wards 9 and 10, I think that is fine for now. And who knows, down the road, 9, 10 may want to join this. That I think it's expanding because it's an effective tool. It allows you to lay tickets. It allows you to enforce building code and fire code in a manner that we were limited before. And so I think that's why you're seeing it expanded elsewhere in the city. But I think in this interim period, I think what the Deputy Mayor was articulating was that enhanced enforcement is not included in 910, but because they're doing active consultations in Ward 6, and I get why Councillor Plushy wouldn't want to lose out on that enhanced supervision given the high number of complaints 2311 in bylaw. Yeah. Would that achieve what everyone's trying to do here? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So Mayor Brown, are you suggesting?
The Deputy Mayor's amendment is just to remove 910 from enhanced enforcement.
Okay. So there's a motion on the screen right now with amendment, with RL bylaw officers to be prioritized for resourcing without impacting Ward 6. Are you suggesting a change to this?
Well, the non-RL wards would just be 9, 10, and 6, correct?
And
8.
8's on there, so it would be 9 and 10 and 6.
So without impact of 6, yes, that achieves it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So this motion, I think, achieves what everyone is wanting to bring forward. And I just want to, as if there are no further questions or comments from members of council, is Councillor Tour on the line for a question at all, or no? No, we're good. Okay, so the only thing I also wanted to share as someone who's been pushing this program forward is, number one, thank you to the bylaw team and everyone involved, Allison, Steve's team, everyone involved in putting this licensing program together. We only started really implementing it and changing the way we do bylaw enforcement in the city in January. And I have to say it's made a big difference. We haven't completely caught up yet, but it's making a big difference. And I know that the data in September is going to look great in terms of how the progress and the changes are. What I will say when it comes to RLs and additional residential units, and I was speaking to Commissioner Ganesh yesterday about this, we're going to see more. Like the province is asking municipalities and forcing municipalities to deal with the housing crisis through additional residential units and by accommodating more people living in existing residential housing areas. And so I just need to Councillor Keenan's point, people told us that this is not possible. Other municipalities told us this wasn't possible and it didn't work for them. And yet again, the city of Brampton, through our incredible team, are finding ways forward to make it work. And it wasn't easy, but it's working. And I guarantee you, other municipalities are going to be also turning to us to figure out how we did it and using us as another example. The only other thing I want to add is just to, like I said about the lodging houses, make sure that the enhancements, again, prioritize fire safety, fire code, building code. There's a lot of talk in this report about the exterior, but I know that the interior safety is of utmost priority for us. to make sure that those inspections prioritize safety, fire safety, building code safety for our residents and the first responders. So that's all I have to say about that. Anyone else on the board? Mayor Singh, Deputy Mayor Singh.
Chair, I just wanted to actually elaborate on your points in the sense, and I want to make it clear, we're not saying no to RL. We're not saying no to these things. It just, yesterday in particular, I guess I have more work to do as well, and thank you to Bylaw for everything you've done. I know this stuff is coming one day, but I realized yesterday we have more work to do, and so that's why I'd like to take you out. I know this is the direction we're all gonna move in, so just for the public record and everything, this isn't we're never gonna have RL or any sort of bylaw. We just need more time, and I'd like to work with you to achieve that with the local community there. Thank you.
Thank you. And one final note, and I don't know if GR is here. I don't know if they're here or not, but I want to flag that these costs are downloaded costs, again, from the province, where we're having to deal with the consequences of accommodating increased housing. I think Commissioner Ganesh put it as cramming sardines into a sardine can. That's in many cases what it's looking like in our communities. And as we accommodate more types of housing like this in a more accountable and responsible, safe way, a lot of these costs to enforce are being paid for by property taxpayers. And I do think we still need to advocate at AMO in particular to get compensated for some of these costs that we're bearing in our community. So just yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Chair, just a point of order, if I may ask. I noticed the motion says with RRL bylaw officers to be prioritized. RRL officers are automatically in the RRL wards. I think that should just say bylaw officers.
Okay, we're good with that. Thank you for that clarification, Director Hicks. All right, motion from Councillor Keenan to accept the amended recommendations from the report and the report itself. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. Great work, everyone. Okay, the next item, I believe, is questions from Committee of Council. Any questions regarding this section of the agenda? Seeing none. Public question period. Any questions from members of the public on this section of the agenda? There are none. Economic development section, I believe everything was put into consent, so we have no questions on that. Corporate services section, I believe everything was put into consent. Looking to Vice Chair Power. And then Public Works. There were a number of items that were held. I will now pass it over to Chair Public Works, Councillor Vicente.
Thank you very much. So members of committee, our next item was an item held by Councillor Pellechy, 12.2.1, staff report on the 2025 new school infrastructure improvements for Ward 6. Councillor Pellechy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In going through the report, I noticed that it talks at some length to schools that potentially could be on roads that are 2 or 4 lanes. I really think that we need to relook at where schools are put specifically for Heritage Heights, Bram West in particular, and that's what I assume what this report is basically talking about. You look at Nelson Mandela Public School, the fantastic school that it is, but it's located right on Chinguacousy Road. And in the beginning, council, this is before all of our times, had set direction to say that Nelson Mandela Public School could only ever be a busing school, but really never had the power to enforce that because has nothing to do with us to be able to do it. So obviously today it's not a busing school, and the lineups and the amount of children that cross that road is an issue. So therefore I would like to make sure that I provide the direction that no schools ever are built in Heritage Heights and Bram West on a 2 or 4 lane major road. They're where schools should be built, on those back streets, you know, in making complete communities, as far as I'm concerned. Building off of schools and making, you know, nice, massive parks that people can enjoy. They cannot be located on these massive schools, or on these massive roads with the amount of traffic. So, in looking at the report, it mentioned a couple line items where 2 to 4 lanes or 3 to 6 lanes, which, so I'd like to delete and just make it 1 to 2 lanes. If I can do that. Or I'm happy to refer this to council next week to have a chat with the commissioners, or Kevin, I think. And then we can try and work out the wording. Happy to do that.
Thank you very much, Councillor Paleshi. Do staff have any comment?
Through the chair, Councillor Paleshi, this particular report was with respect to certain infrastructure that's going to be in place in 2025 in front of the Mount Pleasant Catholic Elementary School. It specifically identifies 3 key implementations: a 40-kilometer speed limit, school warning signs, and community safety zones. But we'll certainly work with our planning group and the school board to ensure future planning initiatives in terms of new schools being built are built in an appropriate area where things like the type of road, obviously, access to the school, et cetera, are taken into consideration to ensure the safety of the students and all the vulnerable road users in the neighborhood are taken into consideration as part of that planning process.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. And it's clear in this report that policies are being set for those futures, and that's what I'm trying to get in front of. It talks in length about those the future policies for the streets. So not in particular, I'm not really talking directly about this one, but the future policies that this report is kind of outlining. So again, happy to refer it to next week, and then if we can chat. Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Paleshi. So we have a motion to refer this back to staff for council. All in favor? That carries. Next, members of the committee is 12.2.9, also held by Councillor Paleshi. Staff report regarding budget amendment for non-conventional stormwater management facilities under parks. Councillor Paleshi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just with respect to this one and the next item, and talking to, if I'm talking to both or if I'm talking to just one, I would really like to take out the $250,000 for consulting. Really want us to be able to work on this internally, have this come back to planning, but also work with other stakeholders to see, you know, what is the big difference between what we're talking and what the private, the industry is talking about, because there seems to be a gap. So let's try and bring that together and figure that out. Because from my understanding, it doesn't cost as much as we think it's going to cost. So let's get in front of the industry to say, okay, well, this is what we have, what do you have, and then we'll try and figure this out. That's kind of what so I would like to take out the $250,000 for consulting services and have staff take on this internally with stakeholders. I know Mayor Brown wants to speak to this as well. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Very good. So we have an amendment to the recommendations that this work be undertaken internally. Mayor Brown.
Yes, I just agree with Councillor Paleshi. I'd remove the consultant fund. I think we have the capacity to do this internally. I've seen a few presentations on this. I think the new technology has a number of advantages, and I think it's worth giving it a try. And I think there are some pending developments where this could be utilized to really get more parkland that wasn't that we didn't think was available to us. I think as cities need to adapt as technology changes. So hopefully Councillor Paleshi, Planning Committee, can shepherd this expeditiously.
Very good. Councillor Barr?
No.
Oh, that was Mayor Brown, I see. So we're asking to remove item 4, correct, Councillor Paleshi? Very good, so there would be no budget amendment? And that the work is undertaken internally by staff. Commissioner?
If I could, certainly we'll take that direction and bring the work in-house, but just to be clear that recommendation 5 would still proceed, that we'll still continue to work with the industry on the one pilot project that we have now, and perhaps if there's others in the future. So the work would be done in-house in parallel as we're working. Perfect.
Very good. I see no other speakers. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Pleshy. That carries. Next item also held by Councillor Pleshy, 12.2.10, staff report on stormwater asset management plan. Councillor Pleshy, you wanted to speak to this?
No, that's good. I spoke to both.
Okay, so we have a motion moved by Councillor Pleshy to move item 12.2.10. All in favor? That carries. And that completes the items in Public Works. Are there any questions from members? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, do we have questions from members of the public with regards to the Public Works section?
Through you, Chair, no questions online for this section.
Very good. And so now we move on to public question period. Are there any questions from members of the public, Madam Clerk, with regards to the entirety of today's agenda?
Through you, Chair, I see no questions online.
Very good. So members will now move into our closed session business. I'll ask the clerk to summarize what we will be managing in closed session.
Through you, Chair, the following items will be addressed in closed session. We'll have a motion to move into closed session to deal with the following items. 15.1, budget amendment and request to begin procurement for construction services. Under open meeting exception, section 239(2)K of the Municipal Act, being a position plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board. 15.2, Hazel McCallion Line Project Update. Under open meeting exception, 239(2)H and K of the Municipal Act, information explicitly supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board by Canada, a province or territory, or a crown agency of any of them, and also K, the position plan or procedure. 15.3, discussion item, Embleton Community Center Update, again under section 239(2)K of the Municipal Act. And 15.4, the added discussion item, negotiations related to lease for city property, also under open meeting exception, section 239(2)K of the Municipal Act.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. So I have a motion moved by Councillor Medeiros for us to move into closed session. All in favor? That carries. Madam Clerk, would 11:40 be appropriate? Very good. So we recess here. Thank you. Okay, members of the committee, we're back in session. I will ask the clerk to summarize our in-camera session for us.
Through you, Chair. In closed session, items 15.1 and 15.2, procedural direction was given, and both items were referred to the June 25th, 2025 meeting of council. 15.3 was considered and direction was given to staff. 15.4 was considered and direction was given to staff.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. And with that, we now move to adjournment, our last business item today. I have a motion moved by Councillor Power to adjourn today's meeting. All in favor? That carries. Thank you all.